I mean, Soros actually, he is, I believe, the top contributor to the Democratic Party.
And the top contributor to the Democratic Party has now landed himself in hot water. Look, people, I don't consider myself to be a prophet, but I did prophesy this. This is a smashing report. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and share this news with you. Folks, go get some great merch at lumberjacklogicshow.square.site. Get one of those non-binary t-shirts for your liberal friends so they can proudly wear it and let everybody know they're not voting for Joe. That's right, 30% of them aren't, according to recent polling. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about George Soros, crime, and how everything is beginning to work against him. I mean, it's really hard to get inside these liberals' heads. Did they think that these policies wouldn't affect them? It's like the people marching with Hamas with rainbow flags. I mean, has anybody told them what the outcome of that is? Watch now as Soros-backed DA Jason Williams of New Orleans, who campaigned against cash bail and called for alternatives to prison, recounts how he got carjacked at gunpoint with his mom.
In an interview just 12 hours after Williams was carjacked Tuesday night in the Lower Garden District, he said the masked gunmen were just a couple of feet away.
That hole seems a whole lot bigger when it's pointing directly at you.
What's running through your head when a gun is pointed at you?
You know, it is every bit as horrific as it sounded when I have sat and listened to crime victims.
How's that Soros money now, Mr. Williams? Was it worth it? Look, I mean, it's. I don't wish this on anyone. But actually seeing this occur to the people who brought the policies does seem more like justice than the victims that he talks about in here, that he created by not actually prosecuting criminals.
And Soros, I don't know. I mean, he had a very difficult upbringing. In my opinion, he fundamentally hates humanity. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's doing things that erode the fabric of civilization. You know, getting DAs elected who refuse to prosecute crime. That's part of the problem in San Francisco and LA and a bunch of other cities. So why would you do that?
Indeed, why would you do that? And now the question is, can these people extract themselves from the Soros matrix? Here's another one, closer to home for me. Anti-cop Minnesota Democratic Party official left bloodied in violent carjacking now calls for tougher crime laws. So then we got two carjackings. Carjackings in Minneapolis are through the roof, people. Sivanthi Shananandan, the second vice chairwoman for the DFL, shared of her attacks on Facebook, where she fumed that the four young suspects need to be brought to justice. You can't make this stuff up. She said, I have a broken leg, deep lacerations on my head, bruising and cuts all over my body, and I have rage. She has rage. Unbelievable. Wrote Sathanandan, who said the beating occurred in front of her 4-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son around 7:45 p.m. Tuesday. These men knew what they were doing. I have no doubt that they have done this before. Yet they are still on our streets, killing mothers, giving babies psychological trauma, and a lifetime of therapy cannot ease, with no hesitation and with no remorse. I'm now a part of the statistics. She rages on, she fumes on. But here's what you need to understand. I want you to look at this tweet from Shivanthi from 3 years ago. We are going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Say it with me. Dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Instead, now, Sathanandan, I can't even say it, thanked the incredible, her quote, Minneapolis PD for assisting in the terrifying experience, a far cry from her attitude towards law enforcement 3 years ago. Again, this is the same woman. Who in another tweet said, thank you, Minneapolis school board members, for getting this done exactly as it should be. MPD, that's Minneapolis Police Department, should have no place in children's schools. And now she's marching to the beat of a different drummer. But how deep does this web of Soros money go? Here's the headline from the Washington Examiner. Soros financing plays outside role in Pennsylvania district attorney race. An organization financed by international left-wing billionaire George Soros is playing a large role in the complicated race for Allegheny County District Attorney. This is where it gets unbelievable. Incumbent Steve Zappala is a Democrat. He's now running as a Republican. Why? Because Matt Dugan, the county's former public defender, was financed by Soros. Nearly all the money Dugan received came from the Pennsylvania Justice and Public Safety PAC, which is funded by Soros. The filings reported by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette show Dugan raising under $67,000 between the 6th of June and October 23rd. Ordinarily, that'd be an abysmal amount for a Democrat in a countywide race. But Dugan received a whopping $1.1 million in-kind contribution from PJPS. And according to the filings, the money is being used to run his entire campaign, from advertising on air and in mailers, as well as polling. PJPS PAC gave Dugan more than $700,000 in-kind donations for his May primary challenge against Zapala. So just see, and this is the thing about Soros, he understands where to spend the money.
The value for money in local races is much higher than it is in national races. So the lowest value for money is a presidential race. Then next lowest value for money is a Senate race, then a Congress, and then. But once you get to sort of city and state district attorneys, the value for money is extremely good. And Soros realized that you don't actually need to change the laws. You just need to change how they're enforced. If nobody chooses to enforce the law, or the laws are differentially enforced, it's like changing the laws.
So now when you hear these left-wing hacks like Rachel Maddow and Joe Scarborough and others talk about George Soros being the conservative boogeyman, you'll realize that that's just not the case. This guy puts his money where his mouth is, and he invests it wisely. So check this out. Zapala, back to Pittsburgh. Zapala is one of the state's longest-serving district attorneys. He was upended by Dugan in the May Allegheny County primary that saw traditional Democrats left in the dust by progressive activists, with many of them, listen to this, having previous ties with the Pittsburgh chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. They include Sarah Imarato, who is seeking the powerful Allegheny County Chief Executive office. Soros' bottom-up funding of local races has been going on for nearly 10 years. His candidates often run in low-turnout, closed primary races on social justice platforms, a tactic that has caught traditional Democrat counties and state party officials off guard and created disruption in those primaries when they win. They ultimately cause even more disruption once they are handed power, when they discard tough-on-crime tones. So see, they start out, this is just exactly like Barack Obama, people. Remember he was never for gay marriage, but then he actually was. A whole host of things where he campaigned, we would never do single-payer health care, but actually that was the end goal of Obamacare, and we saw that through leaked videos and so on. They never run on what they actually are, because if they did, their policies would be too unpopular, but they realize they can go in and make these lasting changes, and then you have to eat it. Okay, so campaign finance disclosures show Soros started donating in 2015, and by 2016, he had given at least, get this, $5.6 million to PAC supporting district attorney candidates from Arizona, yes, to Wisconsin, according to campaign filings. And if you remember, he famously funded Penzone, the Arizona sheriff, right, of Maricopa County. People, you have got to get involved locally. Local action is where it's at. Soros understands that. Get involved in your local caucuses. Get out there and campaign at that level. And then do everything you can, everything in your power to educate those around you so that we can get our country back. Because otherwise, it's just going to be some fleeting memory in the annals of history. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this edition of Lumberjack Logic. Remember to smash the like button on your way out, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and please support the sponsor, MyPillow. That's right, MyPillow.com, folks. Promo code Lumberjack will save you up to 66%. These right now, these MyPillow 2.0s with the cooling fabric technology are fantastic. I love them. And the reason I like these so much is that I can move that foam around inside, and it just creates a cradle for my neck. I sleep so comfortably, so well with these. Look, you're going to spend a third of your life sleeping. Invest in the best sleep products. Support a patriot, Mike Lindell, and use promo code Lumberjack, and you can support this show and save some big dollars. Thanks so much for listening. See you on the next episode. Peace out.